And hello and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney. Has it been a while since I've played this? Is my last save on nearly a year ago. Holy shit. Okay, it's been longer than I thought. Okay, basic explanation. I was always playing these and just like coming back case to case to case to case anyways. And then it sort of turned into me trying to play other games. And during that, when I had not gotten back to it for this particular case, it sort of turned into a situation where I really got unmotivated to even play games for the channel anymore. Really, I wasn't playing almost any games for like the better part of a year, right? And then eventually, when I got the motivation to come back to it, I jumped in to do Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which I've been doing. And I finished that game, and that was a multi-month process because that was like 100 episodes. And with that, I'm now just playing games whenever I feel like, and I will record them, edit them, throw them up, and I'm not on any sort of schedule now. That's basically the approach I've done coming back to it. But I want to get back to the games I didn't finish before, because I was playing them for a reason. I didn't stop because I didn't like the games. But last time you heard me from this, I was probably in COVID. I was probably still dealing with COVID after effects, which I still sort of am a little bit. Every once in a while, I'll still have some of those after effects pop up, which, you know, is fun. A little bit of long COVID makes the heart fonder, I guess. But we're back. I finished Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I've also bought a house in the meantime. Well, not a house. A sort of house, condo sort of thing. I bought my own real estate in the meantime. And here I am. This is the second thing that I'm recording in this new location. And let's jump into it.
Glancing over my records of the late last century, I am faced by the events of a certain bitter winter. A murder in a carriage as it sped through dense London fog in the dead of night. Though the victim and the perpetrator were the only ones inside, there were multiple witnesses to the crime itself. However, none could have imagined at the time that such a seemingly obvious case as this would end in such a horrendous manner. My friend, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, once said of the incident, "I believe that perhaps that case was indeed the prelude, the beginning of a long concerto that impressive Japanese student and I were to play together."
Cool. Cool. I think the last thing I remember was like we were on the ship and that was the case in the last time, so are we in Britain now?
Amazing. Is this really just a railway station?
Railway station or not, I've never seen such an enormous building before.
And look at all the steam locomotives. This country is incredible.
It is a view of things to come, then.
I feel like I'm dreaming.
So this is the capital of Great Britain.
So, where to?
Oh, hello.
Climb aboard. I'll take you wherever you want to go.
In that
For
case,
money.
The Supreme Court in Whitehall, if you wouldn't mind.
You guys have money? Oh,
I
boy.
suppose you're visiting students from abroad, eh?
Yes.
Thought so. Well then, I hope you enjoy your stay. And welcome to the centre of the world, Great Britain's mighty capital, London.
There was a small snippet in there where I saw one of the horse carriages that had like an advertisement on the side of it. And it looked like the advertisement was static relative to the horse carriage, like bouncing around a little bit. So I'm guessing that was them putting English language, like in the localization or something, and it was just sort of poorly done. but it really stood out. And it makes me feel like, why would you go to the trouble of doing that? And my thought is that going to be plot relevant? It was like Brian's something, and I've already forgotten exactly what the point, what it actually said. Like, it was more just that it was like weirdly static, and I think it said Brian something. So if someone named Brian comes out, that's going to be relevant. I think that's going to be relevant. And welcome everyone to the British Supreme Court. I believe, and again, it's been like an actual year. I believe the last chapter ended off with us wanting to, what's probably the best way to say it? With us wanting to, like, take over Bandana Man, Kazuma's spirit, right? His like purpose for wanting to be in this program of trying to advance basically judicial reform in Japan and whatnot, and using Britain as the basis for that, and learning here. What an incredible place. It's so imposing. It's almost suffocating. This place is breathtaking. It's like a fortress. There are some stone buildings like this in Japan now, of course, but they've only been built in the few short decades since we opened our ports to the outside world. Stone buildings not common? I guess I'm not huge on historical stuff like that, but I would imagine stone buildings would be pretty early in the civilizational, like, development stuff. Maybe, I mean, what are the other options? Wood, and I guess it depends on what resources are available. An authentic example like this has quite a different impact, wouldn't you agree? Far cry from the wood and paper most of our buildings are constructed from. Certainly unfamiliar. But I think there's more to differences than just construction materials. Yeah, the gears are pretty cool. I think they're unrealistic to be like set up like that, but they're pretty cool. What is this place again? This is the Lord Chief Justice's office, Naruhodo-san, in the Supreme Court of the Great Britain. The Lord Chief Justice. Yeah, that's pretty high up in the hierarchy there. We had instructions to report here at this time. If circumstances were different, we are supposed to let the Lord Chief Justice know that we had arrived from Japan. Right, how are we going to play this out? No. So instead, we are here in a different capacity, as envoys, to report the news of Kazuma-sama's death. Yeah. And having delivered his or her message, an envoy's duty is done. So, we'd have to return to Japan. If we want to remain here in Great Britain, I have to take Kazuma's place as the law student selected for the study tour. Yes, which means you need to, the requisite qualifications as a lawyer, which is what I've been studying for. Here in Great Britain, it is the Lord Chief Justice who appoints lawyers. Oh, okay. That seems totally not abusable. So that's the second reason why we're here. To have you officially recognized as a lawyer. It's the only way that we'll be able to remain here in London. It seems like if the Lord Chief Justice is the one who decides, I feel like you'd have a pretty high bar for entry without like nepotism and stuff like that on your side. I hope I'm at scratch. Ah, good morning. Sorry for keeping you. Ooh, imposing. I trust you aren't too exhausted after your long voyage from Japan. It seems I'm 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 47 seconds late. My apologies. Oh, I mean, that's sort of significant, but no, don't mention it. We're never happier than when we're standing around with nothing much to do. How fortunate. So, introductions. I am Mayo Strongheart, Lord Chief Justice of the British Empire. And I feel like a little mouse under an elephant's foot. Come on, Miss Naruhodo. Don't be a mouse. Were you reading my mind? Oh, it's an honor to meet you, Lord Chief Justice Strongheart. I am Ryunosuke Naruhodo, from the Empire of Japan. Ms. Nahodo. Welcome to London, the capital of our glorious British Empire. Ah, yes, thank you. Oh, hello. No, I don't want to examine. I guess I could examine still. The gears in particular stand out to me. Some kind of clock? I guess it could be a clock. Actually, I think we might be inside some sort of giant clock. Oh, are we like in Big Ben or something, technically? I think that's probably not how anything's ever been set up in Britain, but that would be a pretty cool concept at least. These gears are larger than anything you'd find on a steam locomotive even. It's eerie. Do you think clocks are some sort of hobby of his? The Lord Chief Justice, I mean. You know, it would be... Well, boys do enjoy fiddling around on machines, don't they? Do they? I don't know. I've never really cared for that personally. What do you mean, what do you mean you work in engineering, Echo? Yeah, no. I've never been too into that part of it. What do you mean? But you're an engineer. Doesn't that mean you have to like machines and stuff like that? It's like, oh yeah, machines are cool enough, but I'm more interested in like the process of like solving problems and figuring shit out, and engineering is just, you know, a fun place to do that in. Let's do that part of it. And hey, Echo. Yeah, you totally don't. Okay. I find it very funny if you had all those gears going and they all basically, through gear ratios and shit, powered like a very small clock. Like you see right next to her bangs on the side, on the left side, there's a clock-looking sort of shape in the back. I hope they all power and run that specific clock. That would be pretty awesome, actually. I'm not sure you could fiddle with cogs that size. And I'm certain you couldn't call him a boy. Still, it's amazing how little noise the cogs make, considering how large they are. There's actually something quite soothing about the precise rhythm. Interesting. So is it like an official armband to declare yourself as a lawyer? With your name in there? What do we got here? Sort of I did like him. I know it's been a year, but I still like thinking about it is sad. It is interesting what feelings stick with you when you haven't had closure on something like that. Scales of justice, they're a symbol of the defense, aren't they? Yes, that's right. Scales are a symbol of fairness, to show that they're, all are treated equally in the eyes of the law, because that's totally, definitely. How that plays out in reality, definitely 100%. And they're a warning to those who enter the courtroom without an impartial mind. But they're the mark of the defense. It would be more auspicious if they were wearing more heavily to the not guilty side, I think. Very impartial, I'm sure. Lord Stronghart, may I show you this? To accept this item, issue a receipt, examine it thoroughly, and make a formal statement of my findings. It would require something in the region of 24 seconds of my time. Sorry? Does the item warrant 24 seconds of my time, Mr. Naruhodo? Let's leave it for now. Okay. You don't care about that? Then sure, you don't care about that. So, what are your impressions of our capital so far? How do you like London? Oh, I've been so nervous ever since I got here that I really can't remember a single thing about the city. It's simply splendid, isn't it, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh? We had a wonderful view of some of London streets from the carriage on the way here from the station. Everything is so impressive and grand. I must say, I'm almost lost for words. I'm glad to hear you like it. The city boasts tramways, by water and gas, even cables supplying electricity. We spearhead every revolutionary new technology in the world. Every visitor to London is astounded. Oh, yes, astounded is the word. Ah, thanks for saving me there, Suzato-san. And everyone seems so jolly and full of vigor. Yes. There's much excitement about the upcoming great exhibition we'll be hosting here in London. Great exhibition. Cultural and technological achievements from all around the globe are to be exhibited here in our great city. Oh yeah, like World Fair, right? World fairs were pretty common in this time period. Because you didn't have like the resources to really make everyone on the same page for like you didn't have like nowadays you have like trade expos, right? It was basically a trade expo, but you didn't have that like cohesiveness of like individual industries, so it was just one massive thing for every country to show off to each other. So if it's like that, it would be the greatest spectacle of its kind in history. And will make Paris's World Fair look like a toy shop. Yes, there it is. Gosh, I can hardly imagine how magnificent it's going to be. Yeah, it was sort of a competition thing for many, many years, too. It was very Olympics-esque, and like every country wanted it specifically for clout, basically. Great Britain's capital city is nothing but magnificent. London is the center of the modern world. Even if you do say so yourself. What year is it? When did America become really prominent? Because I know America was pretty not prominent. Like, World War II got really, really prominent, but even before that, it was a notable world power. The sun will never set on our great empire. Oh, are we still at the point where you have that? Yeah, maybe we do predate some of that. Perhaps it is fate that in these progressive times we welcome visitors from the land of the rising sun. Lord Chief Justice, I think you're expecting a student of the law for this study tour, weren't you? Absolutely. A Mr. Kazuma Asogi, if my memory serves. That's right. The British government has already been telegraphed for a report on the situation. I understand the young man lost his life aboard the steamship bound for our shores. That's amazing. The news reached him before we even arrived. My country naturally extends its deepest condolences to yours. Oh, thank you. And you honored this appointment specifically to inform me of the news. Yes. We are here in the capacity of envoys from Japan to report the sad news in person. They tell me you Japanese are people of protocol and courtesy, and I see that it's true. And it is with some regrets that I must inform you that the death of the young lawyer means this study tour arrangement can no longer proceed. If you just hear us out, Lord Strongheart. What do you have to say, madam? It's about the study tour. Ms. Naruhodo here would like to make a proposal. What do you know? Well, Mr. Naruhodo? This is it then. Moment of truth. The thing is, Lord Justice, Lord Strongheart, I was wondering if perhaps you would consider allowing the study tour to keep going ahead. Don't misunderstand me. Britain would ideally like to see the tour go ahead, but without a lawyer from your country, there's nothing to be done. Well, in that case, what if there was someone else? Another lawyer from Japan, I mean. Is there something I don't know? Only a single lawyer was invited to Great Britain from your country, and that was Mr. Asogi. At least, that is what I've been led to understand. Well, the thing is, this really isn't going well at all. I just can't seem to find the right words to say to this man. Mr. Naruhodo, I could ruin things here if I'm not careful. What am I going to say? There's someone else here from Japan who could be described as a lawyer. It's... oh... Save, because I am definitely trying the funny answers. How quickly can I pawn off? Nope, there's no one! It's only been 40 days since Cosma died, and yes, I've studied as hard as I possibly could. Can I really stand before this terrifying man and claim that I can do the job? Sorry, I I don't know what I was thinking. Of course, only one lawyer. Really? I'm not sure if I can stand before this terrifying woman and claim that I can't. I'll end up upside down on the floor if I do that. How is it gonna loop back? Not that I'm scared of Suzzata takedown, obviously, but still. Perhaps I should change my answer. It's me. Oh, it just automatically goes to it? Okay. Let's see if I can throw her under the bus. Because she was the one teaching me, right? She should know what she's talking about, right? It can probably only be... Yes, Mrs. Otto. I mean, if there's ever an opportunity, an excuse to break down some gender barriers... An unusual introduction. But I presume you mean this charming lady beside you. You are a lawyer, are you? Oh, this is playing out differently. There, look, she's giving me. After all the days of hard work she put in to help me study, can't let her down now. I think that's quite enough joking, don't you, Lord Strongheart? My real answer is... It's me. I can do it. Okay. Okay, well... Oh well. I was hoping it would, like, give me a game over. Or something like that. Because, like, obviously, neither of those will, like, result in anything, but still. Is that so? I mean... I don't have any official qualifications as such, but... No qualifications, you say? And yet you still claim to be a lawyer. I've acted as a lawyer in court before. Only once, as it happens. I had Cosmo to help me. And I was the accused. But glossing over those details. I've been spending every spare moment on the journey here to Great Britain studying. I've learned all about British law and court proceedings while I was on board the SS Buria. The voyage from Japan is some 15 days, I believe. Not what you might call a full education. To become a qualified lawyer here in Great Britain, not only do you need a university degree in law, you must also complete several years of training. I realize it's far too short of a period of time, but I can't just go back to Japan. Mr. Asaki's journey has only just began. Coming here on the study tour was all he thought about. I have to carry on and do everything he planned to do. I know it must sound like I have an overly inflated opinion of myself, but I would do anything to prove that I have what it takes. Any test you care to set me. Just one chance. That's all I'm asking for. Please. 31 seconds. Sorry. Your opening statement there, Mr. Naruhodo. It was 31 seconds long. Not too brief, not too protracted. A perfectly judged appeal, I would say. I would find it funny if, like, the game actually tracked from, like, the beginning of one text box to the ending of another one. Like, if you, like, spent extra time. And it, like, gave you the exact, like, number. That would be fun. Which is a skill that would stand you in good stead as a lawyer. Oh. Thanks. So, you're willing to put those words to trial, are you? Well, I'm all for entertainment. Huh? But let me ask you one thing first. Sir? Yes? You say you intend to do everything Mr. Asagi planned to do. Are you firmly set on that path? Well, assuming I know what it is. Well, yes. That's my intention. Let's see. Am I imagining things? Have you two met before? Have you met Cosmo before and, like, are aware of something? Or did his expression just alter a fraction there for all of a sudden? Huh. He was killed. Like, the reason he was killed was a misunderstanding, right? I'm trying to remember exactly how the last case played out. There's not like something like they would have had him killed on the way here because They were afraid of what his long-term intentions might accomplish. Very well. You have your wish. I shall give you a chance. A test to become a specially certified lawyer. Whether you pass or fail is entirely down to you. Really? What's this test? So, what form will this test take exactly? Tell me, Mr. Nahoda. What do you consider the role of a lawyer to be? Well, defending people, of course. Well said. So, let's have you defend someone. Huh? Just throw him into the deep end, basically. Yeah, I mean, that's probably not a horrible thing. Outside of the whole, like, legal qualifications to be a lawyer are important so that you have a competent lawyer defending you. And that's like not having a competent lawyer defending you is a reason for appeal in the US and that sort of stuff. But it is a, throw into the deep end sort of situation. If you're really saying your lack of limited training is enough to put you in a place that makes you qualified for this, then basically he's saying, then you won't have a problem, right? Your timing is perfect, in fact. There's an amp trial about to begin later today. No advocate has been appointed for the defense as yet, so this will be welcome news. Today? Straight away? If you manage to secure a verdict of not guilty, you'll have passed my test. What could be simpler? Unless it was like a card stacked against you. Is it something that he's could assume pretty safely I'm going to lose? This is why he's able to make that, how do I get myself into these situations? Or, if there's some corruption going on, because it always feels like there's corruption going on in some form, maybe he's saying, oh, this person's completely unqualified. Maybe this is a good excuse to, like, put someone completely unqualified to get this person definitely guilty. Well, could I ask what sort of trial it is, Lord Strongheart? Yes, good question. I remember. It's a murder trial. Again? We're doing this again! A murder? An extremely simple case, I understand. You really cannot lose. That's easy to say. But I should mention, just in case, if the defendant is found guilty, he will, of course, be sentenced to capital punishment. Capital punishment? He'll be put to death? Here in Great Britain, murderers are sent to the gallows without exception. Presumably, you read that much in your short scene-based introduction to British law. We can't possibly agree to such a test. We would be toying with a man's life. I am the Lord Chief Justice, and I've decided it is acceptable. But you can't do that, can you? There's no need to overcomplicate this. All you have to do is ensure that you do not lose. So the defendant may live or die, depending on how well I perform in court. If I lose, he'll be hanged. Mr. Naruto! You've come to me claiming to be a lawyer. If you want me to take you seriously, you need to prove you're willing to do a lawyer's job. And you say you intend to see through the will of your compatriot, Mr. Asagi. I would like to understand just how far you're willing to go in order to make that happen. He's testing my resolve. What's the matter? You've fallen silent. I'm sorry, but time is pressing. The trial begins shortly. I need an answer from you now. What is it to be? What do I say? Do I agree to this absurd test? Another option that I'm just, like, curious. How much will it really force me to do it? Will I just, like, get a bad end if I don't? Alright then. If I have to give you a decision now, my answer is I can't do it. I can't get the words out. 15 seconds. Your decision making needs work if you want to be a lawyer. That was too slow. So, it is as I suspected, is it? Sorry? You have noble intentions, but lack the resolve to see them through. The test is cancelled. Thank you for stopping by. Go and acquire your ticket for passage back to the east tomorrow. This conversation is over. Yes, Lord Strongheart. Thank you for offering me a chance. Mr. Naruhodo, is it actually going to commit me to this? I'm sorry, Mrs. Otto, but what could I do? It's alright. I understand. You do? It's not an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances. It's playing out the scene like I could have chosen either, and I would have been the same thing where I can't get the words out. But resolve has absolutely nothing to do with it. What are you trying to say, madam? I think what Mrs. Otto means is that no matter how badly I'd like to be recognized as a lawyer and stay here in Great Britain, to risk another man's life by treating his one and only chance at a trial so trivially, it would be utterly unforgivable. And I feel exactly the same way. I'm sure the defendant won't see this trial as a test, as some kind of experiment. A lawyer may fight for his clients in court day after day. For each one of those clients, the particular day they stand in the dock may be the only chance they have to fight to prove their innocence. No, I was wrong. I am not qualified to do that job yet. And I'm sorry for wasting your precious time, Lord Chief Justice. Interesting. Wait, Mr. Naruhodo. Ooh. Was that the test to prove that it, like, as a lawyer, the important thing is, like, we're not doing it to be, for us to be a lawyer, we're doing it for the client's sake, right? Because one of the things from the early Ace Attorney games that I've really, like, taken to heart, since I've played them, was the idea that, like, it's important for the defense and prosecution to both truly, earnestly believe in their side and just do everything they can, legally and fairly, to get their verdict. Because if both sides are truly competent, strong, capable, and don't try to use loopholes to get out of something or stuff like that, the truth will come to light, right? If the system is set up for a fair, real trial, at that point it's a system thing, other than a lawyer thing, then lawyers on both sides, if both sides fervently, truly, passionately defend and prosecute the client in question, then presumably the truth should come to light, and ultimately the truth is the thing that should be the victor. Because otherwise, if you don't have both sides truly, honestly fighting for their side, then you won't have the same sort of true, you won't, like, you could bias the results to one side if you have, like, the defense, like, I don't know, this guy might have done it, and been like, because you might end up biasing it, and they could be not guilty, and just because they're think maybe they did it, then suddenly that that defense for, oh, they might be innocent, just sort of dwindles and becomes insincere, and the truth becomes biased towards a specific conclusion, right? It was sort of one of those things from, like, the original Ace Attorney games that really gave me a new perspective on how attorneys and the law really should work at its core. And I generally agree with that concept. It is approximately 20 minutes by carriage to the Old Bailey from here. If you leave immediately, you should still be there in time. But I just said that. I was quite serious in what I told you. The defendant in this case has literally no one to advocate for him. What? At this point, he can't hope to find someone to represent him. The trial will begin without a defense. And if that happens, There's only one possible outcome. You will receive the most severe sentence the judge can pass down. But that's awful. But that is the truth. Why does it have to be like this? Please don't expect an answer to every question. The cold, hard truth of the matter is that there is only one person now with any chance to save this man from a very miserable end. And that is you. I'm really his only hope. So, what do you say now, madam? What do you mean, Lord Jonghart? You said it wasn't an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances, and I agree. But in my estimation, it is purely and simply a matter of resolve. Oh? Our time is up here. I have a meeting to attend. I must leave in 2 minutes and 16 seconds. So, venture into our great city and enjoy yourselves. So he just sort of like do what you have to do. He's either gonna get executed, or you'll give him a chance to not get executed if you take it up. He's gone. Bailey. Yep. The choice has sort of been made for us, hasn't it? If we're gonna do this, Mr. Naruhodo, we must leave at once. Yep. That's the plan. As soon as I get a drink of water. It's been a long time since I've voiced out the entirety of what I was playing. Ooh. Maybe a year, or more than a year, because I was COVID and I wasn't voicing stuff last time I played this. Okay. What a very familiar looking room. Oh my goodness. Is this the same room as was in Japan before our thing? Oh, the 18th of February. How, the same month as I'm recording this, just, the next year after the last time. Oh, I should definitely aim to get this out on the 18th of February. The first episode of this 18th of February, that would be... Oh, that's maybe a bit far off. Depends how long it takes me to get through this, I guess. Oh, thank goodness, we're in time. There's still 15 minutes until the trial begins. I never knew a horse-drawn carriage could go so fast. Thought my teeth were gonna rattle loose. Did you hear what I said to the driver when we climbed aboard? Get us to our destination in 5 minutes, driver. And there's a guinea in for you. Like a guinea pig. It's one of my favorite lines from Herlock Sholmes. And it worked quite perfectly. I'm not sure why you're so pleased. Thought we were going to die. And we had to pay gold for the privilege. Well, at least we arrived here before the trial started. Yes, I suppose there's that. Anyway, I don't understand it. The court clerk said the defendant should be here. There's no sign of him at all. Is he hiding? Hello? Come out. So this is the Old Bailey. Even this room for defendants to wait in is grand. Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? I'm feeling tense. That's all. Today's giving me the same sense of foreboding that I remember from the Supreme Court of Japan. An oppressive air. Almost as if the building itself is going to crush whoever is about to be sentenced. It feels like only yesterday that I was the one about to be crushed. Yes. Whoever the man you're to defend is, I imagine he's feeling very alone at this moment. Especially if he hasn't been able to get a defense. Top of the morning to ya, madam, sir. Ooh. What are you stewing following me here? Things affairs desperate, are they? Sorry? Why'd you look at those expressionless faces? From the East, are yas? We're from Japan, yes. Ah, Japan, is it? Right, say no more. So, how much you need? No, we're just here because... No need to explain, fella. I've been there myself, so I have. No place to go, nothing to eat, barely a penny to your name, and all the while in a strange faraway lands. Well, actually, we haven't found a place to stay yet, no. That's more a matter of time, though. 'Tis grand, 'tis grand. Let me start by giving you 1,000 guineas. Say nothing now. 1,000 guineas? Please, Mrs. Otto, you don't have to shout. But 1,000 guineas is... It's enough to build an entire mansion in the most prestigious area of Tokyo. What? 'Tis nothing to me at all. I like to ensure I have sufficient funds to weather a rainy day, you see. I have enough wealth to buy the city of London 2 or 3 times over. So what are you doing here? Oh, is this... Okay, you know what? I think I see it. This isn't the defendant, but it's the guy accusing the defendant. And the reason he has no defense lawyer is because everyone's getting bought off. Could that much rain even fall in one day? Even so, you can possibly accept such a large sum of money. Ah! That hit me in the eye! Oh. Don't get me wrong, fella. I'm not giving it to you no strings attached. I'll be wanting you to do something for me. Oh? To be honest, it is a little embarrassing. The trial that's about to begin, you see, is for you could self here. I'll be in the dark. So now, what I want you to do is come along with me and stand there beside me. Officially, you'd be my lawyer, but that's just a little detail now. Oh, well, the thing is... Oh, don't worry about a thing. All you have to do is stand up there next to me, nothing more. Otherwise, you see, the trial is going to start without me having any kind of representation at all. So it was true. Really? So... Okay, he does not have 1,000 guineas then. He is totally just like making me a promise that seems so amazing. And he has like 1 on him. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm super rich. I'm super duper rich and I totally can do this if you totally do this thing for me, because he's probably that desperate. 15 minutes till trial, right? Clearly it's going poorly. The Lord Chief Justice wasn't just making it all up. Terribly sorry to have to ask, but does that mean you're the defendant in this trial? Blustering blazes, do you not know who I am? Me? One of London's biggest names? No, sorry, we've only just arrived in the city, you see. I see. I suppose it isn't altogether impossible. Yeah, just next to Hyde Park there in the city, in the center of London is not a beautiful park. Sorry? A park? What? It's called McGilded Park, full of blossoming flowers in the spring and singing birds and whatnot. I donated it to the city, so I did. An entire park in central London? A city of smiles, that's my vision for London. There's nothing Magnus McGilded wouldn't do for the city and its square people. That's amazing. I mean, really extraordinary. But now they've the gall to say I'm a good-for-nothing criminal. Me, Magnus McGilded. What is the matter with the London police, I ask ya? I am also very sorry if I'm doing the accent horribly. I'm just trying to follow along with the stuff that's like written into the text, basically. Alright. Don't pass out. Please don't pass out. Sonohoro. Perhaps now would be a good time to introduce ourselves while the gentleman catches his breath. Good idea. Mr. McGilded, the thing is, we're actually here in London to study British law. We're law students on a study tour from Japan, you see. So, if you do not have a lawyer for the trial yet, and you'd be happy to put yourself in our hands, we'll do the... What's what I saying, you daft idiot? I give you 1,000 guineas to stand up there next to me, haven't I? Well, yes, but I wasn't really offering to just stand up there next to you. Oh, I think I see what's going on here. Sorry. I know what you're thinking. This John Silver fellow claims to have more money than the Queen. But if that's true, why the blazes can't he hire the finest lawyer in all of England? Because he did it. Oh, that's the only explanation. Well, no. I did think about why he can't, but I did not think it's because he didn't do it. I'm thinking that there might be some corruption thing going on here. Or people just don't like him. I mean, he does seem sort of like not the wonderful person. Most wonderful person. Not at all. Although it is a little strange, to be honest. Why don't you have a lawyer? I mean... that would be the fault of the Reaper. Sorry? Did you just say Reaper? Aye, the Grim Reaper of the Bailey, Lord Barack Van Zees. He's the prosecutor. The prosecutor is the Grim Reaper? Well, if murder charges get sent to the gallows, I can sort of see how that might. When Van Zees stands for the prosecution, they call the accused the sacrificial lambs. And to this day, in every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned. What? So it's reached this desperate situation, where there's no one willing to stand in defense against the fella at all. You'd say he's a living legend of the Old Bailey. Oh boy. Goodness, Lord Baron Von Zees. He must be an exceptionally talented prosecutor then. Talented isn't the word you're looking for, madam. It's cursed. Cursed? What on earth? The defendant is summoned, and his counsel. Please make your way to the courtroom. The trial is about to begin. His counsel. Oh, yeah, that would be me. No, it is time. Now then, fella, don't let me down. But I don't know anything about the case. You haven't told me what happened. Not until you showed your face here. I'd made up my mind, so I had. Sorry. I decided I'd have to defend myself in there. How would that have worked? Well, then he made an appearance, student of law, wouldn't you know? It is no accident, I can assure you of that. It is fate. So don't get cold feet now, please. No, we'll do our best regardless. I literally know nothing about the case. Or about this man who stands accused. But, as I was saying before, the important thing about being a defense lawyer is to... knowing about the case is probably important. Knowing about the defense is probably important. But it wouldn't make me want to back away, basically. In fact, the only thing I do know is that I can't just turn my back on him. Yes, good. Go, Ryunosuke. Mr. Naruhodo. The man has no one. I have to stand alone in that courtroom, armed with nothing to defend himself. Yes, something that Kazuma would never have allowed to happen. Counsel for the defense, what are you doing? If you're late for the start of the trial, you will lose your right to stand. Okay, now or never. I'll be right there. Thank you. Let's do this. It's happening then. My first trial in a British court. Oh, I hope you're watching over me, Kazuma. Because I have no idea how I'm going to manage this. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.